Oops. How's everybody doing this morning? Happy Tuesday. Hey, there you go. We got some energy in the room today. Very good. I hope every turn it up. Yes, girl. I like it. There you go. There's another one down the hall. For those of you not in the room, we got cheers, we got screams, we got shouts, we got everybody all over the place getting excited. All right, so we will have a guest today. Brandon Engle with Survey Eagle will be in today, and he'll have breakfast for us, and he will pitch with us today. But just to get started, a couple of things to cover. We'll go over some housekeeping things first. NLU, we put a lot of pressure. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to deliver a great program and a great show for you guys for NLU, and we really want to bring the most amount of value to you guys as possible. So if there's anything that you've noticed in the classes that you want to be certain on or expand on, do me a favor, shoot me a message. And what I'll do is I'll pass those things on and make sure that they're a part of some of those classes if it's integral to what we're going to be covering. But go to Beggins Agents. Jimmy has sent out an email to all the offices, and Mike has sent out an email with a link to the Beggins Agents page for your NLU registration. Please, please, please go on and register. If you've been hired within the last 3 to 6 months, actually, if you've been hired this year, you probably want to get in because we've only had one other NLU, and a lot of the classes on this are going to be different. We're really talking about shifting markets. Markets are constantly shifting. They're constantly fluid. And right now, we are experiencing some minor shifts. So one of the guys from Century 21 who presented at Naples had a really good analogy that he expressed. And Jimmy, will you make sure you admit the people that are on here, please? And then I'll share screen. Sorry. So one of the things that he had a really good analogy, and if you like sports, I appreciate it. He said we're in the first inning of a 9-inning baseball game. For those who don't know baseball or don't follow it, baseball, some people say they don't like it because it's slow. It's not a very fast-paced game. Being in the first inning of a long 9-inning game means that this first inning is going to be very slow. We're anticipating some more shifts over the next 1 to 2 years, but that's how long this first inning, from what his perspective was, will last. We go, first inning is going to last about a year or two. We're going to see some ticks up, ticks down, shifts, changes. And what that means for us is we have to be willing, we have to be prepared, we have to be able to shift with that and with those changes. But one thing that's not going to shift is going to be your consistency and your commitment. Those are the things that will not and should not shift. You need to be consistent with your action, and you need to be committed to your results that you want. I want to show you something here. And sorry, we're going to be sports heavy today. For those of you who don't watch the NFL, the first season of NFL happened. Ray, you'll appreciate this. The first game of the season was this past weekend. Aaron Rodgers is a top-tier number 1, number 2 quarterback in the league. The guy is far probably one of the best ever, and definitely in the top 5. The guy's amazing. His very first NFL game of this season, lost 36-3. Didn't even throw a touchdown pass. Literally got pulled out of the game after the second quarter. Didn't play the rest of the game. This is the best in the league. Best not only in his team, not only in his division, in the league. Top five all time. Best meaning best group of the best. So, right? We got some opinions in the room. Everybody's got opinions. I do too. So, with that being said, this man who has known nothing but pretty much winning his whole entire life had a horrible game and comes out and says it's just one game. We played bad, I played bad, but there's 16 games in the season. What does that mean? He's committed to his team, he's committed to his craft, he's committed to his goal, he's committed to everything there, and he's consistent. So he's not going to stop. So keep that in mind. If you want to be a professional, if you want to be the best of the best and the top best of the best, you have to be consistent. You have to be committed. And that's what this difference is going to be as things continue to shift. Look, we're not saying market crashes. We're saying shifts. Shifts mean, like Craig said, homes are not going to sell in a matter of hours. Homes may sell in a matter of days. So instead of somebody saying, well, my home didn't sell in the first weekend, we'll say, well, my home didn't sell in the first 2 weeks. So we're going to see some shifts. Buyers are not going to be willing to pay full price, top price, over appraisal, over list, over, with full commitment, full emotional attachment to it. They are not going to be doing that for the home that is not absolutely perfect for them and absolutely stunning move-in ready. If you don't have that product, you're not getting top dollar, over list, over appraisal, over ask with a committed buyer who's going to follow through from start to finish, unwavering confidence in that product where they go through and close. We have potential for more issues. They're not going to be as committed. They're not going to be as emotionally attached to contracts. So just keep that in mind. That's what shifts mean. We have to be prepared. We have to be willing to do things a little bit differently. One of my perspectives on pricing a property, even in a hot, crazy market, is let's not price the property through the roof higher than anything has ever sold ever in the history of Apollo Beach, Sun City, Riverview, Ruskin. Let's not do that. Let's price the property where the value should be based on the comparables and what some of the pending sales are showing us, a trend moving upwards. Let's price a property where that should be. Let us show the buyer there's value in this property, and then allow the buyer to determine how much more valuable it is. I've said it before, you cannot underprice a home in most of these markets right now. It's very difficult to underprice a home. Obviously, if you do your job, you know where the value should be, and if you go 100,000 below, you're making a big mistake underpricing a home. But if you price the home where the value should be, you're not going to miss out. Because if you price it where the value should be, the buyers see that value. The buyers are now becoming attached to that value. Wow, that's a great value. That's a great home. I see value in there. We wanted a home in that neighborhood. We wanted a home that looked like that. And they're not being greedy. And they want to sell their home. Let's get in there and put a valid offer in. They're going to be willing to pay over the list price when they determine it's more valuable to them. And when they determine, because buyers just buy with emotion and justify with logic, when they determine to them they're buying with emotion up front and they're emotionally attached, then they start to justify with logic along the way. And when there's a stronger emotional attachment to the property, they justify with heavier and stronger logic. But that's where we can make a mistake if we go too high. And we've seen this happen before, where you price a property where the value should be, buyers determine it's worth more, offer 20, 30, 40,000 more than the list price. But then around the corner, different neighborhood down the road, you have somebody that prices a property higher than it should be to the tune of $30, $40, $50,000 more than it should be, and it doesn't sell within the first 2 weeks. It doesn't sell. And we're sitting here going, why? That one around the 20, 30, 40,000 over the list price, but this one, we priced it 20, 30,000 over the list, over what the value should be, and the buyers aren't coming out. Why? It's because buyers buy with emotion and justify with logic. So you have to be careful where we're pricing. And I understand some sellers want to go really high. That's great. That's a decision that we have to make as an individual, as a company. Do we want to have our name attached to a listing that may not sell, that may have may get some kickback from the seller, that you may have to answer some questions? So I want you to practice this verbiage, this terminology when you're talking to a seller. Mr. Seller, I showed you where my confidence level is in the price range. This is where I feel the price range should be. I showed you where my confidence level is, $20,000 price range. We can go a little higher than that, but the higher we go above that, I start to lose more confidence. So I'm happy to list it where you feel the value should be and try and get you as much money in your pocket. But just understand that if we're not getting showings, we're not getting offers, and you come to me and ask me, why has my home not sold? My only answer to you will be price. If you tell them up front and set that expectation up front with attitude, with confidence, with a commitment to your ability to do your job, and they're like you know you and trust you, that's fair evaluation and assessment. This is all about people, communications, and relationships. So if you tell them that, if you come to me and ask me, the only answer I'm ever going to have is going to be price. Is that fair enough? If you'd like to list it at that price, perfectly fine with it. I think we will be able to get some showings and some buyers. I can't guarantee any type of offers or any contracts, but as long as we're okay with that and we're on the same page, let's do it. So just know that markets are going to be shifting. We're going to see some ticks. So this is really the first little shift in a market that we've seen in quite some time. At least a full year, it's the first little shift that, like normal cycles, normal real estate cycles, the second half of August slows down, first half of September slows down because of school, because vacations are over. Things just start to slow down a little bit. Those are our normal cycles. Then what? Holidays normally tick down just a little bit. January is usually a slow month for closings, but starts to be a busier month for sales at the end of January. spring selling season, summer selling season. Those are normal cycles that we see. Every real estate market experiences some cycles like that, and that's what we experience. And we're just now starting to see a little bit of a return to normal cycles. So just keep that in mind. It's not a crash, just a minor shift. We're having some normal buyer hesitancy during this time of year. I'll just wait. I'll slow down. I don't want to do it for the holidays. My kid just went back to school. I don't want to disrupt this. I don't want to change that. Insurance is changing. Prices are changing. Interest rates are changing. My job, my life, all of those things are normal during this time of year. So keep that in mind. We're not experiencing a crash. We are experiencing just normal shifts and cycles. So with that being said, a couple other things before we get in. Will you see if Brandon is here, Jimmy, please? Okay, cool. With that being said, oh, there he is. So, well, a couple other housekeeping things. You'll want to tune in on Thursday. Craig's having a class with an insurance agent on Thursday. You'll want to tune in on Thursday. You absolutely want to tune in on Thursday. If you want to get yourself into a powerful position with your sellers and with your buyers, you want to have more information on what's going on with insurance. We've already experienced there is a huge shift with insurance companies right now. They are not as willing to write policies on homes that have issues. Whereas before we could get construction policies, renovation policies that would give a buyer 30 to 60 days to fix an issue that's on a 4-point or an old roof or something like that. And as long as they did that, they would return to a normal rate. We've already seen that most companies, most of them have removed themselves from that market. We also see a lot of insurance companies are hesitant to write policies in Florida because of the insurance, not fraud or whatever you're going to call it, with the roofs. Contractors going out, putting new roofs on homes, finding wind damage, creating wind damage, whatever they're doing. We've seen a lot of insurance companies removing themselves from the Florida market. And the way they're doing that is by saying, we're just not going to insure a roof that's more than 5 years old or 10 years old. And if it's 15 years old or greater, you're not going to get a policy. You're going to need a new roof on it. And you're going to be extremely limited to your carriers. And now the big thing that Craig's talking about, what are we surrounded by out here? Water. Lots of water. So we're going to see some issues with flood insurance and some shifts and changes with that. Your normal buyer who owns. So one thing that you can talk to buyers about when they move here, oh, the home's in a flood zone. You are correct. It's in a flood zone. But the property itself, the home itself, is not in a flood zone. The piece of land in the back is in a flood zone. So your insurance carrier will not require, your lender will not require flood insurance because the home itself is not in a flood zone, but the piece of land in the back abuts to and goes into it. So you won't have to pay for flood insurance. But, Mr. Buyer, confidence, you can add a flood policy to an X-rated zone like that for that property for very minimal cost, maybe $400 to $800. Really cheap. You can typically do that. That may not be the case anymore. That may not be. So those are things that we talk to out-of-state buyers or buyers who are hesitant about flood zones or hurricanes and things like that. Those are things that we may want to have some more information on. So please tune in on Thursday. That's going to give you some really powerful information to be able to speak to your buyers about your contracts and also sellers. When we're talking about a seller with a 20-year-old roof on a home, that's going to be a concern. We need to have it addressed up front. We need to know where we stand. Maybe the insurance policy might be transferable to a new borrower that gives them time to do that. We don't know, but they just definitely get the information that you're going to need. And
hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris. Let's at least talk about the Deb thing because agents here are going to start getting phone calls from her likely.
Okay.
So, guys, Deb's a great person. I don't mean to say anything bad about her. We worked together for 20 years, but our motto is kind of empower, educate, and encourage. And we've noticed that waning for a while. And that tied in with lack of growth of the office for many years now. It just was clear that it's time to make a change. So no hard feelings. But I found out yesterday she accepted a job with Century 21 One Blue, which is a company out of Orlando. And she is the director of strategic growth. So their pitch is they're an 80-20 company. You know, they're very small, based in Orlando. I think they did about $1 million last year. You know, we're doing $3 million a month. So it's a very small company. And that's what she's doing now. So I wouldn't put it past her. Her job is to recruit. So a lot of you will be getting phone calls from Deb, I would assume. And I just want you to remember the value we bring is not in commission split. It's in everything else that we do. So I just want to make sure that's known.
Sure, absolutely. So my perspective, that you've heard, is it just kind of elaborates on it's not about your split, it's about your 1099. Because the reality is, I've had talks with plenty of people, and we all have an identity because of how we grew up, because of what we think, what we feel, what we've been exposed to. We're a $30,000, a $50,000, a $70,000 earner. We've never earned over a certain amount, and that becomes a belief system for us. That becomes an identity. So whenever we talk about splits and things like that, I could offer you 100% split today, and you won't earn a dollar more than what you're already earning by the end of the year. That's that's the facts. When it clear across the board, when you start looking at it, the majority, 95% of the people will not earn a dollar more just because of a higher split. So partnering with a company that helps you shift that identity, shift that mindset into a different phase of growth is really where the power comes in. Because no one's going to change anything they do until they change their daily habits or something they do daily. And no one's going to change those things until they shift their mindset and change their attitude about the things that they're doing on a daily basis. Or they become so incredibly frustrated and upset and pissed off with the status of where they are that they will never live like this again, and they plan to make a change. And I will do this no matter what. I will not stop until. So partnering with a company that helps you to shift that mindset into a growth mindset instead of a stable mindset that you're typically, and this is where we're at, and we're just on the same path. That's where your power really comes in. Partnering with somebody who's going to help you to do that, help you to get that other level. Because you can jump all around and change offices, change companies, get higher splits, get higher anything. And we've proven this. This is not something that's just, words. We've looked at people that have left our office and went and seen the people. If you take, say, 40 people that have left, only 3 or 4 of them have actually done more. The rest of them do less business and earn the same amount of money or less. I'm not telling you that. I'm not making that up. That's the facts. They're in the numbers. I'm happy to show them to you. That's no discount to them, but it's exactly what we're talking about. This is where you are. This is your identity. This is what you're going to earn no matter what, until you do something differently that changes your mindset, changes your attitude, that makes you change something you do on a daily basis with a stronger commitment, a stronger drive, a stronger why, and a stronger reason. So I think that Mr. Brandon Engle, we have a guest today. Brandon Engle from Survey Eagle Home Inspections is here. Real quick before I do that, sorry. If you're looking to change your mindset, if you're looking for that opportunity to grow, to change, if you are a top agent, top producer, you can purchase a Tony Robbins ticket right now for $495 for Unleash the Power Within in November. That's online. I'll send you a link. That's $495. If you're a top agent, we'll reimburse your cost. So if you were a top agent last year, the year before, and got invited to Hawaii, if you're not going to Hawaii, go to that event if you would like. We'll reimburse the cost of $495. If you're not a top agent, guess what? Of the people that all went with us last year, or 2 years ago to that event and spent twice that on a ticket because that's how much they cost then, if there was 10 people that went, 8 out of 10 of them were all top agents and got invited to Hawaii, and they weren't before. So it's an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to shift, an opportunity to change. So with that being said, Brandon, come on down. You need a microphone, sir. So we have a guest today, Brandon Ingle with Survey Eagle Home Inspections. Tell us your name. Tell us about yourself.
Am I on camera?
You're on camera.
I do good on camera.
Camera adds 5 pounds.
So anybody who doesn't know me, who's just moved to Florida and came to work for Century 21 Beggins, my name is Brandon Engle. I'm the owner of Survey Eagle Property Inspections, and I'm now the only inspector. So if you hire us, I'll be the guy you see when we show up. I'm here today because I want to talk about 2 things. One is something that Chris was talking about, this little market fluctuation that we're having right now. I think that listing inspections are more important than ever right now, because every listing you get, they're going to tell you they want $600,000 for their $500,000 house, every single person. And if you say, okay, we need to see what's wrong with your house first, and you get a listing inspection, you might be able to get more reasonable expectations out of them after they see the report that they're going to get from their buyer. So I would say use a listing inspection to maybe help you control your sellers a little bit more.
And right now, everybody says, well, why would I spend the money inspecting my listing before I put it on the market when I know it's going to sell in 7 days, 3 days, 2 hours? Well, because if we're asking a borrower to pay full price, 10,000 more, 5,000 more, over appraised value and things like that. Don't you think we should try and encourage them and get some confidence in them? Remember I talked about confidence, about confidence in getting a buyer to buy with emotion and justify with logic. Well, they bought with emotion, and the logic tells them that, my goodness, this lender asked me for 5 million documents. I had to go print them out 5 times, go back to my bank, get my employer to give a W-2. My dad told me we never pay full price for a home, and I paid 10,000 over. My mom told me, she trusts me and believes in me, but I'm an idiot for doing it, even though I'm trying to protect my family. My wife is getting a little bit uneasy about it. Now I do a home inspection, and now there's problems with the home. The GFCI is broken. Oh my goodness, the house is going to burn down. The water heater, it's an old water. It's 8 years old. At the end of its reasonable life, I'm going to have to spend $1,500, and it's going to be crazy. There's cracks in the stucco. Oh my God. Then now, instead of justifying with logic, they're continually buying into the fact that this is a stressful problem property, and did I make a mistake because of the emotion? And the logic is not in there to justify the purchase. It's going just the opposite way. A pre-listing inspection will help all of that. It'll help give confidence. Do you pay more or less for a home that, or for a car that's a certified pre-loved car? Certified car you pay more for, right? For a $30,000 car, usually $3 to $5 grand more. So someone is willing to pay 10 to 15% more for a certified car. How far do you think it would go with a certified home? $500,000 home, 10% is 50 grand. Maybe it means the fact that you get a borrower that pays 10, 20, 30 grand over the list and over the appraisal. And if you didn't have it, maybe they pay 10, 20, 30 grand over the list, but they're not willing to pay the gap in appraisal. And we see that a lot. So there's a lot of power in that pre-listing inspection, and it gives us that power to be able to go to the buyer and justify everything on this property.
You're really good at this.
I make words sound good.
You make words good.
Hey, do I have any inspections I got to do for you today?
I got your tool belt in the truck. It's coming. So with that being said, so elegantly, we're going to do the rest of this month, all your listing inspections. I don't care about the square footage, for $400. So
what do you get for that?
That's a full inspection of the entire house, roof to slab, the whole thing. So no matter what, it doesn't matter the size of the house. If you call, make sure you tell whoever answers the phone, this is a pre-listing inspection. I'm Century 21 Beggins agent. It's supposed to be $400. Like, she'll know that, or I'll know that, but always specify. Because you'll be like, oh, it's not supposed to be that. Anything, no matter where it is. I don't care geography or the size square footage of the house. It's going to be $400 for any pre-listing inspection for the next 2 weeks. Let's see if we can affect it. No, I can't include termite. We pay for those. And honestly, your seller shouldn't need a wind mitt or a 4-point. That's why we're not doing those either. It'll just be inspection. Second thing I wanted to talk about was, when you guys get your home inspections, whether it's from me or any company on earth, make sure you're reading them like end to end and going over it with your client. We're hitting a rash right now of people who are saying, I didn't know this was wrong with my house, and it's in the report. And we're like, it's a line item. It's right there. It says should be inspected by a certified roofer, or should be inspected by a stucco contractor. And they just skip right over that part, and they never even saw it. So now they're mad at us because we didn't tell them when we did tell them, and it's in writing that we told them, but they're still upset about it. So make sure you're reviewing it and talking about the report with your client so that they see everything, because you're much better at reading reports and documents and contracts than they are, and they're just going through and looking at pretty pictures and then looking at you for advice. So that's kind of a heads up for you guys.
We'll talk about why is that happening more and more now. Any opinions? Because they overpaid, they feel silly, the emotion is weared off, they're in their home, they may love their home, but something created a problem, and they're like, I just paid this much for that? My goodness. How mad do you get when you paid for Amazon Prime shipping to get here tomorrow and it gets here in 2 days, not tomorrow? And you didn't pay for the shipping. It just said, I'll have it here tomorrow, and it came in 2 days. You get pissed off and angry and mad. These people are paying 10, 20, 30 grand for a home, and they said everything was fine or okay, or please just have this looked at by a contractor. Everything's working as it should, but I didn't like this one thing about it. And all of a sudden it breaks after that, and they get pissed off and angry and upset. Right? So there's correlations there. We have to understand that. So go through all of those things. If it says to be looked at by a licensed contractor, make sure that you're discussing those things with them, because he's telling you from the horse's mouth. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a horse. from the from the horse's mouth, he's telling you that they are looking for reasons to create a problem for the home inspector, looking for someone to sue, looking for someone to blame because they made this decision and they may be happy with it, but they're trying to see if they might be able to get something out of it. I just paid 10 grand more for the home. Now I got to spend 3 grand to fix this, and this. I'm not happy about that. Who can I blame? It's always going to be you and this guy because you represent them. He performed the inspection. He takes responsibility for that in writing, but you represent them in the contract, and you need to make sure they fully understand what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what are the facts. Keep the emotions out of it. We deal in facts and facts alone. Okay?
One more thing that I guess Craig had talked about this before, so I just kind of wanted to show it to you guys in case you hadn't seen it before. This is the coolest business card ever. This right here, this bracelet, is actually replacing this business card. Do you have your phone? Mm-hmm. Bring your iPhone 6 over here. Let me show you something. If all you do is this to someone's phone, the screen has to be on.
In Safari.
And then they don't have to have an app or anything. It literally opens. It gives them all your contact information, all your social media, everything. So there's no more need to carry business cards around because every human has an Android or iPhone phone, and it does that for everybody. You tap it to the top of their phone, and you go.
What's it called?
I think it was just white and black. I'm sorry.
So this is the class that Mike did a couple weeks ago. Was it BUP?
No, this one's called Popple.
That one's called Popple, but there's similar to what Mike was talking. One called BUP. He puts that to you. This is called Popple. There's a bunch of them coming out and around. I mean, it's great. All it does is if your phone's on, I just held it up and it gives me a notification that says, do you want to open this up? And I can open it up and look at it.
So this is like $24 on Amazon, and that's all I paid. You register it on their website, and it's active. It's called Popple.
That one's called
Popple.
Popple. The one that Mike pitched was in a class a couple weeks ago called BUP, B-U-P, Boop, B-U-P-B-U with a line across the top of it.
And they have the dots for the back of your phone. They have the same thing, but I didn't know if you guys had seen this yet. This is cool because I don't have to carry cards around with me anymore. I can literally hit 20 people in a row. I'll just take your phone out and open your screen, and poof. They have all of your contact info and your social media in one shot. Very cool. That's all I got.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Lastly, do we have new listings, bio wants? Anybody want to pitch new listings? So come on down, grab the mic from Jimmy. Come on up. You can stand in front of everybody and pitch today. We're going to make you come on screen. The camera adds 5 pounds to Brandon. It takes 5 away from Kim.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, only 5, Brandon.
All right.
Miss Kim, what do you have for us? You have a new listing for us?
Yes. Well, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Yes, I do have 2 listings coming live, and I'm excited about them because being a newbie, it's always exciting.
Hold that just a little bit closer, please.
So the first listing I have coming live is in Bal Harbor. It's a 3-2. It's on water. We're going to list it for $529, which is actually $10,000 less than my gap. So they went on the lower side. This house has been well maintained, and they just had all new hurricane windows installed, not the sliders, but the windows. And they've updated the kitchen because we all know that those are older homes. Their view is the long view. So while they're at the end of the canal, so their lot where they attach the water isn't as large, their view is spectacular. So out of their lanai and the kitchen, you just have that long range view. Like I said, it's a 3-2, well maintained, $529. I think it's a great price. The next listing I have is coming up in Wesley Chapel, and that is 1 acre rectangular lot with a trailer on it, and we're going to list that at $169. What did I call it?
Trailer. We took the wheels off. It's a mobile home now.
It's okay. I stand corrected. So anyway, $169 for that lot. We had some young people living in it, and they kind of gave it a youthful glow. They did some nice doors in there and some different things that should appeal to a lot of buyers. There's also a nice utility room there, 15 by. I can't remember the total size of it, but it looks like a little house with electricity. And then there's also another storage container on the property.
1 acre?
1 acre.
How big is the mobile home? approximately?
Single wide. Oh, well, he added on, okay, non-permitted, yes. I think it's 1,169 square feet.
What's the price going to be?
169.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thanks, Kim. New listings, come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Ew, yeah, you got to come on. Yeah, come on. Well, new listings. If you have any new listings that you would like to pitch to the group and the team online, please raise your hand or unmute yourself. Tell me what you got. Brenda, where's that one located? Were you asking about the mobile home or the waterfront in Apollo Beach? So the mobile home was in Wesley Chapel, and the Bal Harbor one. The mobile home is going to be in Wesley Chapel. Do you have an address for that? She'll get it for you. I'll type it in the chat here shortly. What do you got for us, Sarah?
Okay, so firstly,
You got to hold the mic and talk into it if you want people to hear you,
it
please.
just seems so weird. Like, 11602 Fringe Tree. It went. Thank you. Yeah. I didn't pick it, but thank you. It went live Friday morning.
And it's not sold yet?
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
This is the issue. So I'm going to move out the way so you can all see. I know.
Tell me about it.
So it's a 3, 2.5. It's just 19 and change square feet. It's on a huge lot on the corner, and it's completely fenced in. It's even a smart home. It's got the whole system in there. It's got surround sound in there. That's a wood look tile in the whole downstairs. Bedrooms are upstairs, and that's the master. It's carpeted upstairs. Also pretty up there, but I mean it's nice. They were going to, or they will, for the right buyer, repaint the whole interior with a neutral color, because as you see, they were a little bit colorful in the loft. Those storage all stay as well on the wall right there. I did get one offer, so I won't say I didn't get anything. It's a cash offer, Invitation Homes. Lower. So we have to answer them by tonight. So I need you to show your buyer today and get me an offer today.
Tell us what neighborhood this is in.
It's Lucaya Lake. Beautiful neighborhood. So it's gated too. So that's that one. That's Riverview. Really should have flown.
388.
388. Yeah.
Okay.
And so as far as comps are concerned, I mean, we're good. There's one that sold for 362, which is not a corner lot and not nearly as big. And, you know, I didn't think it's pretty inside. There were a couple that were listed for 345. I know they went higher from a little birdie. So just saying, close to the 388. So, so the other one is my South Tampa home, 3014 West Van Buren. There it is.
Okay, tell me about it.
Cute. So you can see how close it is to Bayshore. That's Bayshore on the right there, Bayshore Boulevard. You got MacDill is the other main road right here. You're about 10 minutes, if that, to the base. Not even really. About 5 minutes to the base by car. You got all the shops and everything just a little bit north of there, of South Tampa. I mean, it's great location. I know I've pitched this before to all of you, but there's like, when you go down the street, there's 2 brand new construction homes that have been built on the street. So it's a nice street. She remodeled the whole inside. So the kitchen's a whole IKEA kitchen with a 20-year warranty, apparently. It's small, but it's a 3-2 altogether, and 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom's in a separate part of this is it right here. So that door right there goes to the outside of the house, so you could rent it, and then there's a door where the photographers stand in that goes into the main house. Here it is right here, and both are lockable, so you could use it as a rental if you wanted to, or just a teenager you just want to lock up. I mean, that happens. Huge. She extended the patio. She paved the driveway. You know, and there's a war bunker right here. So if we, you know,
Looking like it's already been hit.
Yeah, I mean, but it's sturdy for another hit, so it's ready. All right, so I don't know. It's been on for 2 weeks. Wow.
Almost 3. My goodness.
Oh no, 20 days. Oh my gosh, even longer. It was
So
like,
they-
oh wow, don't. We are reducing. It's at $350 right now. We're reducing to $345. Bring me a buyer.
Good.
All right.
Excellent. Anybody else online? New listings? Anybody else? Yes, you can. So if you're online and you have any new listings, unmute yourself. Let me know. Nope. Come on up. Hurry up. You're not getting. Oh, you're sweating now. You were freezing cold 5 seconds ago. All right. What do you have for us?
Okay. In Summerfield, this is not going to be listed until the beginning of October because there's tenants in it now. But it will be vacant, ready to go in October. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, big yard. It's got upstairs a loft and a bonus room. So also a 3-car garage. It's 2016, so you don't have to worry about the roof or anything like that. Ready to go.
Pricing that you
Around 400. I think.
Going to be in the 400 range. So I mean, obviously, if it's going on the market in a month and 30 days, we're not committing to a full price right now because we're seeing what may happen with the market. Revisit the market before it goes on market. So we're going to be in that 400 range. But for a homeowner who is currently renting the property out, who doesn't want to sit, and he wanted to list it before the tenant moved out, but some tenants don't want showings. Some landlords are not wanting to pressure them into taking showings. So he's going to have to sit a couple months with this off market or not being rented and have to pay for that before it sells. So he is willing to sell it beforehand if the buyer was looking to, because it's going to benefit him. But we're not able to go on market until October. So if you have questions, Rachel Markley has that listing if you wanted to reach out to her. Anybody else? Any other new listings? Anything that you'd like to pitch online or in the room? Mr. Monahan, what do you got, sir? Can you please hand the mic to Mr. Monahan, please? Public service announcement.
Would you like me to stand up front?
Yes, sir. Please come on down.
All right. My slides done? Oh, very good. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chris. This will take 2 seconds. So I think it's greatly important as realtors that we're aware of what's going on. I'm trying to get my thumb more closer to the community. So I'm on the Chamber of Commerce, and I just got nominated to the board. So I'm very excited about that. So now that I have a new incentive, but I have a couple of public events coming up that I think are important. And the first one is we're all COVID starving for anything outside to do and go. And the Ruskin VFW was announced that they're going to bring back the Veterans Parade. If you've never been to the Veterans Parade, it's in downtown Ruskin. And I know there's 3 auto zones and this, that, and the other thing. But it's a really high-touch opportunity. And that's in November, and that is going to be on November 13th. Just so you're aware of it, I don't have a flyer yet, but when I do, I'll post it. To support that, the VFW is having a spaghetti dinner October 11th. It's $8 a ticket. Beanies is doing the cooking. So we've already sold 100 tickets. We want this to be a good event. The last VFW parade they had, Veterans Parade, they actually flew in one of the paratroopers from MacDill and landed in during the parade. So it's a nice thing to do, just to be aware of it. From a realtor standpoint of view, I've got 2 things here that I think are important. Number one, the South Shore annual golf tournament. It's at Summerfield Golf Course. It's short money for a big investment for a large visibility. You can get a whole sponsorship for $150. We've already got almost a full contingency. So there'll be 144 people there to play in the golf event, bunch of vendors. I'll put these out in the MLS room so you can see them. And from a more family-oriented perspective, the day before, they're having a trick-or-treat event at Summerfield with the food trucks. So it's a flat fee. Bring the kids, bring the family, prizes, raffles, all that stuff, again, in Summerfield. As a family member or people that have family, it's a great thing to do. As a realtor, it's a nice way, short money, touch, shake hands, give out business partners, business cards. And before I forget, Kim, congratulations on your listings. And of course, Sarah, I was so proud that the driveways were not in any need of power washing. I couldn't agree. Thank you very much, guys. So last year we played. Jimmy played with me, and I got a couple of my golf buddies because they're really good. Because I sponsored a hole and all, and I didn't want to come in last. So the guys from Fuzzies Tacos, they came in first. So they've already told me they're coming in first again. So get that energy going. We're gonna need that. Oh
So
yeah, we were. So thank you for that.
I'd like to. Can you please email me a copy of those?
Absolutely.
And I'll send those out to everybody in the team. You'll have those flyers with those opportunities and events that are coming up.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Great. So now that Kalani is here, we can end the meeting. Thank you. Thank you so much for all tuning in. If you have anything that you need, please feel free to reach out to myself, Jimmy, or Craig at our emails, phone, or text. We look forward to hearing from you. Have an amazing Tuesday. Register for your NLU. Show up for the insurance class on Thursday. It'll be a lot of great information.
You want to hit on?
Thank you.